gotta see if the picture changes. There's a delay. So I'm gonna stay in here until I see it update on the stream. Hey! I saw myself from the past. Okay. There wasn't sound before? What is going on with this thing? See, this is why they can't make live streaming easy, can they? It's so easy on Instagram, you just hit the button and it works every single time. This, you got all this convoluted crap in the way. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and get started. I'm gonna make a cut and then I'll say hi again. And I think, let me see if I can control the volume, otherwise it's gonna be pretty loud for you guys. Yes, I can. Okay, I'm going quiet now. Boom, lumber. Instant lumber. Let's see here. There we go. Instant lumber. Just like that. All right. All right, so I gotta wait for the lift to bring the saw head back up so I can pull the head back. Check our phones, See what's going on over there. One more. Now wait for the side to come down again. We'll get the next cut set and I'll make that cut. I think it's still working. All right. So I think I should be able to get one more, at least, well, one more for sure before I bottom out the throat. I might be able to squeeze two more, but we'll see. Get the next one set. Does anyone know how long that cut took? I need to start actually like having a clock or a timer or something on me when I'm doing this. And remember to actually use it, because I don't know how long the cuts are taking until after I have the whole log slab. I'm editing the video. I can actually see in the video how long these things take. But if you type that into the box right now, I won't see it because I'm standing over here. How's the stream doing anyway? Did it freeze again? I can't tell. 40 quarter, I don't think I can do 40 quarter like that. I can do up to, actually, let me look. I can tell you how big of a cut I can make. I think it's 17 inches. I guess I can do 40 quarter, yeah. Let's see. I can cut up to 17.5 inches deep. So what the heck is that? 7 quarter? That's pretty good, I think. Back to the chat box. I think it's working still. Want a skull and crossbones? That seems a little scary for this. I gotta put my big decals on here still. Let's see what we got here. I'm at 2 inches, so I gotta come down 3/4 of an inch. It's 2.5, 1/4 inch. Two and 3/4. All right, saw set for the next cut. What's everybody doing? It's like it snowed over here. That's one thing I like about the sawdust thing is it's like snow. It reminds me of winter. 70 quarter. See, I guessed pretty well. 2 minutes. That's pretty good. That's about right on par. As you can see how I'm not going to be able to get another cut after this. That's like right there. I've got like maybe 1.5 inches between the beam and the top of the log right now. Do you guys want a different angle for this one? Is there a vote on the angle? I guess I can only do so many things with the cords. Maybe I'll go over here. A little better maybe. That's a little bit better. We'll do this side. can see my sexy legs. Top down would be cool, but I got this computer hooked up to my camera. I already had a shot with the camera up there today, on top of the shed. But I mean, I'm hooked up to this thing. All right, let's get this thing cut, shall we? And then, since I can't move these today, I've got some other work I can do, but I might hang out for a little bit and answer questions if anybody has any questions or things I can answer for them. I can do that as well. Let me get the volume down for you guys. I think the sombrero is bad luck. Last time I used it, the log came off the supports. I should clear. All right, let's boogie. see anything. All right. 238. Thank you, Robbie. It's not bad. Computer here. The octopus tree. Oh, probably this thing over here. The octopus tree. Is that the octopus tree? That one there? That is a crab apple. A really, really old crab apple. Probably just leave the saw like that for tonight. Boom. Yes, central time here, almost 3 o'clock. 2 hours to my workday left for the shift again. Oh yeah, thank you, Mark. Boom, okay. Oh man. I have no clue how many people are going to be at the meetup in Houston, but if you're asking about it, I hope that you are thinking of attending. Eric asks, what lubricant do you use? So that's what I got in that bottle where that is now. I lose everything. That is diesel. I switched to that. I used Pine Sol when I first started with water. It's all right. Diesel is a much better lubricant, so the saw runs quieter because all the noise that's being generated, at least when the saw is idling at least, is just from the blade going across this bearing here. So there's metal on metal contact. The diesel lubricates that a lot better and keeps the noise down, which I appreciate more than, I guess, the added cost, which is nothing. Diesel's pretty cheap. It's getting hot out here. Yeah, I guess I can show you the top slab. Let me see. Nah, it doesn't stink at all. You can't even smell it. Let me get the broom here. Let me unplug this thing. I'm not going to use this anymore. I'll try and get the camera around there to show you the top slab there. This is also pretty tall. Actually, no, I got my air compressor. What am I doing? Okay. Okay, so this might be interesting because I got a cord here, but I should be able to, yeah, this might work. Hopefully I don't unplug myself by accident, but I should be able to just kind of sneak this whole thing round like this under the blade and back up. Oh boy. All right, I'll be right there. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right there. Computer down. There we go. Okay. I will be right there. Here I come. I lied. I gotta move this again. Okay. Now I can move. Okay. Let's see here. So this one's got some burl kind of thing going on here. So it's got all of these kind of burls starting to form here, and there's a little bit of bird's eye through here as well. There's a lot of these little burl. I'm getting stuck down here. There's all these little burl inclusions in here, which I really, really like. They're really cool. And of course, I don't know, we've seen it all already now. This is all curly, of course. It's no surprise, that's all curl through here. Around this bark inclusion here. This bark inclusion is kind of cool. Runs all the way down. Kind of gives you that river table kind of look, but a natural river table. Another one of those little burl thingy-mabobbers there. And you know, you got some curl. There's a little bit of staining up here. It's a little bit of blue stain. Could be some rot down below there somewhere. But pretty cool log. Freaking big though. Really stinking big. It's a long way down. There's the offcut there. But let me get the tape and I can tell you how wide this thing is. I gotta get my metric tape for all you metric weirdos. Just kidding, I love you. What we got here? This one here is 56 inches. It's 142 centimeters up here at the crotch. Boop. And then down there, yeah, like 26 inches, 66 centimeters, something like that. Really cool curl around this thing. Let me show you that. Another one of those burly things. It's one of the bigger ones. So really cool little burl. It's inside of the wood or inside the log. And there's some nice curl up in here. It's a nice piece. Nice piece. I gotta snake this stuff back through there, which might be interesting. Maybe I'll try and move this slab out of the way. I can try that. I can just dump it off the back or something. Oh, man. Oh, looks like I can just bring my whole body around here. There we go. Okay. Put my tripod again. Probably should eat in lunch. Forgot to eat again. Whew. There's a lot of weirdos who like seeing wood get cut up. And I'm definitely one of them. That's for sure. For real, for sure. Okay. Let me try and move this. I'm gonna try and pull this this top slab back a little bit so we can take a look. Hello back to you from Minneapolis. Hey Greg, how's it going? I gotta check this. Yeah, all right. I should be able to see this. Record button. There's a very good chance that I can't move this. Not as bad as I thought it would be. Very cool. Let's clean this off a little bit. It's messy up there. Sawdust and stuff. See if I can move my camera setup here. Trying to get crushed by this. Oh, these are coming apart. It's good. I can actually move them then. Oh, maybe a little bit, not too much. There we go. Now I can actually move these. That's nice. Woo! It's dirty. Oh, almost pulled you guys off the... I gotta be careful with this thing. I'm gonna pull the computer off anything on. Basically, this is me just talking to myself. All right. Okay. Very nice. All right, let's see what we got here. Whew. I'm moving around. This is cool. Let's see here. Hopefully you can kind of see that. There's a bunch of curl through here. It's the hard thing about felling maples. It's so white, you can't see anything. Let's see. This is cool. There's like this kind of funky grain thing going on there. It's pretty sweet. And there's beginning of some crotch figure up there as well. Some more curl on that side. There's that burl thing there. And this bark inclusion continues down a little bit, which is pretty cool. I gotta hop down. Whew. Oh yeah, so this is easier to see. This is that side, bottom side. All full of sawdust. There, it's a little better. Maybe it comes out better on the camera now. Yeah, oh yeah, there you go. Look at that. Huh? Is that one spot there? Got some undulation there. So this is pretty cool stuff. You never know what you're gonna find inside a tree. So, that's cool. At least now with that slab separated, at least I can stack that by myself. And then I'll stack the rest of the stuff tomorrow. It's dark. All right, let's see what you guys are saying. Anything? The slab block is on. Oh, that would have been a lot funnier if I had said that. I'm not that funny, I guess. I might be able to, Mark. This year I got just too much stuff going on. I got to finish up that high boy, or at this point, get started to a large degree. Hopefully next year I'll have more time. That's just what happened this year. Not enough time for everything. Blade specs. The blade is 1.5 inches wide, 0.050 thick. Two spacing is 7/8, so it's like 1.19, I think, teeth per inch. Something like that. 308 inches long. And I really don't know how long they're supposed to last or how long they do last. I've been changing them long before they get dull. So I use one blade for a log this size because it's not worth it worrying about the blade dulling and wandering on me. Otherwise, I found even with the dull blade, the first blade I had on here, the second log I cut, I hit the side stop and dulled that blade. And I still cut like, I don't even know, almost all the small stuff I had with a dull blade missing most of his teeth and no teeth that were actually sharp. So in theory, if you're cutting small stuff, they'll last like forever. I'm not sure how many hours I have into the sawmill. I'm gonna be doing a video on the mill with like the costs and the cost breakdown, some of the time breakdown, the design decisions or whatever. And one of the things I have to do is go back and figure out a decent estimate on the time, because when I was doing this, I wasn't following any plans, so I spent a lot of time kind of prototyping and thinking through things and just not really working while I was actually out here working on it. So if someone had a set of plans and they were just following it, that's a totally different amount of time than it would have taken me to do it. Plus I was making videos the whole time too. So that definitely slows you down as well. But I'll have at least a decent time estimate. And of course, if you have more fabrication experience than I do, probably get through a lot faster. Walter, do you have a way to resharpen the blades? I don't at this point. I have enough blades now that I can put them in a box and send them out to be sharpened. They need to be sharpened and reset. So a decent, like a really good like automatic sharpening setup to sharpen these blades is like $3,000, which I would never make that much. I would never make my money back on that. But I do intend to get one because I like to be able to show how to sharpen one of these blades and just know how to do it, even though I'll never make my money back on that. But that's not why I do it. Yes, Chad, I don't have a HOA. HOA's not for me. I have not cut pine, but I have cut spruce. I'm pretty sure diesel would dissolve any of that pitch pretty easily. Ever thought about getting a hold of pine logs and make a shed or a covered area for your drying slabs? I am at my limit for my accessory structures on my property, so no, I guess, without a variance. How does blade tensioning go? Does the ram ever go down? That's from Jay. The tensioner actually doesn't change much. If the blade is new, it will stretch, so I'll check the blade after the first cut and retension it at that point. But after then, the blade stays pretty stable and the tension stays up. So I was very surprised because I kind of threw this tensioner in there as like this should work just fine for now, but I don't see any reason why I should change it at this point because it works so well. I haven't had any problems with it. So I'm just gonna keep it like that, I think. Sorry, I'm trying to scroll through here. The age of this tree, I have no idea. I have not even begun to count growth rings at this point. I will tell you it's probably not that old. It's silver maple, it grows pretty quickly, so it's probably not as old as you think it is. I don't know, that's 10 years right there. You can't see this, but that's 10 years-ish. Maybe 100-ish. What do the neighbors think of the ever-increasing slab piles? Most of them can't see the slab piles because they're hidden from view. Exactly, Mark. Exactly. The neighbors don't really care that much about anything, which is nice. what do I think about cottonwood as a woodworking material from Robbie? I haven't used it, and if you look up cottonwood on the internet, you'll see like most people are like to bash it. But what I've learned in my life is I don't really believe everything like that until I do it myself and try it. So I would like to get some cottonwood up here to give it a try and see what it's like to mill it, for one, and then two, what it's like to work. It's in the poplar family, or this poplar, the same genus as poplar. So I'm thinking it should work pretty similarly, but I haven't tried it. I'd like to though. Make my own opinions, if you know what I mean. When are you gonna paint the saw? See, I'm kind of debating that too, because I kind of am enjoying driving people crazy by just the fact that it's not painted, which is, it's the most funny thing I think that's possible in the world, is how much there seems to be this caring about painting this thing as soon as possible. But I don't know. I think at this point I'm going to cut this log, I'm going to cut the walnut log up there, I'm going to cut the rest of the small stuff, and one or two more small logs that I have lined up, and then I'm done for a while. I'll be taking the saw apart to paint it and all that stuff, so probably the next month or the month after that. And then I would like to get that done so I can have the mill, the manual version of the mill, completed within a year of having started it, which would have been, I think, late August. All right, I lost the question, but it was about extending the existing accessory structure to make it bigger. Yes, I could. Then you need a permit. I have the shed at the biggest allowable non-permit size. So then to go from there, you need a permit, which would involve a site survey, and that's something I have to do myself. So I have to hire a surveyor to come out, and I have to actually have plans for it. It's a lot more hassle. I don't plan to be here long enough to make that even worth it, so I'm just not worried about it. Does my hair smell more like maple or like ash? I don't know. Depends on what I've been doing with my hair, or what hair you're talking about. How much do one of these slabs weigh? I have no idea. I can tell you, maybe. I'll have my phone somewhere. These will probably weigh like 300 pounds, somewhere in there, maybe a little more, since they're soaking wet, since this tree has just freshly been cut down. Lumberyard suggestions in the Twin Cities. I've only been to one. Well, I guess besides my little baby lumberyard here. Youngblood, that's the only one I've been to. I've been there once. I bought 2 boards there. They have a lot of stuff. I don't know how the prices are comparatively, but it was nice. People were nice. Oh yeah, I guess Forest Products, they're a little smaller, a little more niche, but if you're looking for a few boards here and there, you can check them out. You know, you can also use their, they got some, you can have your, you can rent time on their wide belt sander there as well. My phone's ringing. I'll do this right now. Ugh. This log keeps getting taller, I swear. Why does this keep jumping around? Why can't I just scroll through and read what people wrote? Oh, this is a good one, Mike. From Mike, he says, he's currently running a chainsaw mill and considering a bandsaw mill. I will occasionally want to be able to cut wider than 36 inches. Do you feel the time and money is worth building one, or is it better to buy one? Totally depends on your business and what you want to do. For me, and the volume of stuff that I do, and the business model that I have, it would never make financial sense for me to buy a mill that can do this. You're looking at like $50,000. That would never make sense financially for me. So for under what? I did this for under $10,000. That's a lot more financially feasible for me, given the volume I do, the space I have, and all that stuff. So it's really it's a financial decision on your part, I guess. But, very good question. Oh, Billy, that's like the rust-colored paint job. He says just clear coat it. Nah, see with the paint that I'm using, the paint that I use on the frame is that rust paint. POR 15. It's fantastic stuff. When I have to remove the paint from the frame, like when I added the pockets for the side supports, it was really hard to grind through that paint. That paint takes more prep work if you have new steel. The rustier the steel, or if the steel has some kind of not smooth finish to it, the paint sticks and actually bonds to it a lot better if it's been rusted a little bit. So I don't really need to prime it either. Dude, a giant log of cheese. Someone bring your wheel of cheese over here. I'm gonna cut it. I'll cut up your wheel of cheese. No problem. And then you can just collect the sawdust and use that like for sprinkling on stuff. I think I'm onto something. I like that. Okay, let's skip down again. Oh man. Oh, I'm sorry if I skipped your question. Just ask it again. I'm sorry. Thank you, Walter. Appreciate that. Why does this keep jumping around? Can you show us how you measure the depth of each cut? It depends on what I'm doing. For these, I just measure them. So I bring the blade down and then I just measure off the top of the blade. I measure off so that the blade has teeth that go in both directions and then one that goes straight. So I measure off the top tooth that's pointing up. So I put the table on top of that and I measure to the top of the last cut to get my cut depth for stuff like this. Mostly because right now I'm higher than my scale will read. But normally I have a scale on the side of the mill here that tells me how high the blade is off the bed. Whoop. So I can just read on the scale and I can know where the blade is and you can just do the math and come down. On this side is a 4/4 scale, so this, if you bring it down, each of these increments, they'll give you a board that's 1 1/8 inch thick, so you can use that as well. So 2 of those, if you go 2 increments, it's about like 9/4. So for this thicker stuff, I just measure it too because I just find it to be a little bit easier and a little more, it's harder to screw up because it's literally right there in front of your face. Oh boy. Okay. 100-degree sawmill versus cheese. It melts. Why does this keep moving? Maybe I should just like put the camera on here so you see what I see. Or it just keeps jumping around as I'm trying to read this. How much of the wood that I cut do I sell? Like 95% of it. I cut way more than I could ever use. Do I have plans for the mill? How did I come up with the design? How long did it take to build it? The plans are almost done. They'll probably be out next month. I have a little bit of work still to do on the layout and all the other things I have going on right now, but that seems to be a constant in my life. More things to do than time. How did I come up with the design? I just kind of made it up. I looked at a lot of different sawmill designs, both commercially and home built, and kind of came up with this as far as like this should work kind of mentality. And this is what we got, I guess. And then I answered the how long it take to build it earlier. I got to work that out still. So I'm pretty sure if I try scrolling, it just jumps to the bottom. Why don't I build a solar kiln? Let me show you my lot. Solar kiln would only be anywhere effective in the winter here. But my basement works just fine for the volume that I do. And it does it about as fast as I want to do it anyway. So it works out quite nicely. that, and then back to the accessory structure thing again. How many slabs are gained by using a bandsaw kerf versus a chainsaw kerf? Not as many as you think. That's definitely not the driving factor for me to go bandsaw mill versus chainsaw mill. It was definitely the speed. The waste factor is, I don't know, it's pretty negligible. The kerf on this blade is almost an eighth. It's 0.1 inches, and then the chainsaw mill is a 1/4 inch, so 0.15 inches per cut. Maybe you get 10 cuts out of here, you get what, 6/4 board left in there somewhere, which I guess could be something, but at least for me, it's not a driving factor in doing the bandsaw. How long does the wood have to stand until it dries once you cut it? It depends. Totally depends on the species, the initial starting point of the moisture content in the wood, where I dry it, how thick it is, and all that. But it could be anything. If I want, for instance, a 1-inch board, if I take it green off the mill and dry it in my basement, it takes 3 months-ish to dry completely. See you, Jay. Have fun at school. Oh, why did this move again? What do I do with all the sawdust? I can show you. Camera here. There's a pile of sawdust. That's the high boy right there. Shavings from the high boy. Anyone remember when I made a floor? Do you remember when I made flooring? You want to see my flooring? That's all flooring sawdust right there from the planer and the table saw and all that stuff. So I just kind of scatter around the yard, make the ground cover. Works pretty well for that stuff, and then it rots relatively quickly, so you can keep replenishing it, and it's not really an issue of being able to get rid of it, or enough volume of it to get rid of it or whatever. Dust in the wind. I don't know if I pop it out, does it jump less? Good question. Let's see. I have a feeling that the answer is going to be no. Or I have a feeling that it just doesn't even show the chat. Oh, there it is. Let's see. Let me scroll back up here. I want to take the mill up the flooring. The milling process didn't take that long. Maybe, I don't know, 16 hours or so, 20 hours. Not a super long amount of time. The install took a long time. But the thing I hated about making the flooring or the milling, milling the flooring, it was boring. It was really boring work. You're sitting there feeding machines for hours. But like the tongue and groove took like an hour per pass or so to go through all the boards. So that went pretty quickly. It was all planing. Planing took forever, just forever. And you have to empty the dust collector like constantly. So that wasn't fun either. But it was a good experience. I'm glad I did it. So far, it is not jumping again. So that is nice. How have I been doing this for? Almost an hour. Okay. Nope, never mind. I lied. It does still jump. Dude, Carl, I should totally get a CNC pancake griddle for the sawmill. You know, when I turn this thing into a CNC, I might as well put a pancake batter nozzle on it. I mean, why else would I build it? More functions. Ah, yeah, I'm thinking that's going to be a good idea. A DIY pancake machine. So if you don't go to the lumberyard All the lumber for your projects comes from these big slabs, or do you order wood online? The lumber for my projects comes from stuff I've milled, but I don't only mill big slabs like this. The stuff I mill here on my property tends to be pretty big because I do this. This stuff is fun for me. I like sawing big logs and stuff like that here, and it's not something I do super often. The majority of the wood I use for my projects, I cut out at my friend's farm. If you look at my videos and look for A Day in the Woods, that video, basically go up there. His family has a farm out there that has a lot of woodland. So we pull logs out from trees that are either dead already or down or stuff like that, wind damaged, and we mill them up into lumber out there. And that's kind of what really got me into milling lumber, I guess, is my experience out there. Kind of evolved to this, but the stuff I do here is really just recreational for fun. Chad, he hasn't stolen any tomatoes yet because tomatoes aren't on the plants yet, but he's probably going to start stealing ours off our plants and like eating them all because he loves tomatoes. And they jumped again. If I were to guess, do you think GR will get into woodworking? I don't know. I think he'll get into like helping me and like being out here and doing stuff, but I don't know. If he wants to, he can. He's got access to a lot of stuff he can use, I guess, and all that stuff. Now that you did the saw, is there something you would have done differently? So I'm going to answer this question in that video when I do the analysis thing of the mill, but I'm still trying to think of something because I know people are going to ask me that, and I honestly don't have a good answer to that at this point because it works so darn well and it fits my needs so well. So like the only thing I could say is, what, I wish it were bigger? I don't know. That's probably about it at this point. Although I don't really wish it was bigger because it's plenty big. At least I say that now, but we'll see. What's up, Douglas? How's it going? When do you think you'll move? I don't know. Oh, it depends how this year goes. Hopefully next year. Jordan asked, do you ever run into nails in those logs from in town? Yeah, occasionally, but not as often as people apparently tell me I will. And the nails don't do anything to the saw, really. So nails aren't a problem. I've hit a few. One log I cut that I'll be posting a video on soon, I had like 10 nails in that log. And I hit those at the top of the log, and I still went through and cut the whole log without any issues. So, I don't know. I think it's not as big as a problem as people make it out to be. The floor was nice. I do like that floor. It's really nice to be able to walk in there every day and like watch my kids playing on it and know that like every single board was like I touched. It went through my hands from a tree into that final place on the floor. Is it a bad idea to sell green slabs? Not particularly. I don't really do that because of the way that I dry them. I need the log to be intact, or the slab shape to be intact for that rain cascade effect. Plus it just looks cooler if it's all assembled like that. And then of course they're worth more when they're dry. So that's why I don't really do that. But I mean, it's not a bad idea. You get your money out sooner. There's that too. Dude, Carl, 4-foot pancake? I'm thinking 6 foot. What do you think? If I make a 6-foot pancake, I think I'm gonna need some people to come over and have some, because that's gonna be a lot of flour actually. I'm gonna need to that's gonna be like a Costco run for flour. Would I ever consider selling a piece, I'm guessing, of the slabs? Yep, I sell almost everything. When am I gonna go visit Frank Howarth? I've never been up to the Pacific Northwest, but I would absolutely love to. And yes, that'd be a lot of fun. Thank you everybody. Yes, Chad, the hydraulics will be coming. I don't know if anybody's noticed this thing. I've had this like tucked away in the corner of the videos to see if anybody notices. I've got a hydraulic reservoir just chilling over there. So I'm ready, thinking of there, I guess. But yeah, wait till you see what I have in store for hydraulics on this thing. It's like nothing you've ever seen before. On a sawmill, at least. Oh, this thing is tall. How hard is it to transport? Is that referring to the mill? The mill isn't really that transportable. It's 12 feet wide, so it would be an oversized load. I think it's. I haven't looked into the transporting of oversized loads or what, but I think that's wider than the lane on the road, so you might need an escort. I don't know. I don't plan on moving it like that, so I haven't really looked into it. And for me at least, it's easier to just bring the logs to the mill. Thank you, Peter. I appreciate that. Now one thing, I do have to move the mill, at least the position it's in right now. So when I built this sawmill, I had all these logs lying around, and this was like the only place that I could build it where I would have enough space to put it. But it is too close to the shed, and today I actually just had this happen. I knew about it, and I was like, I gotta make sure I don't do this. I had it parked over there next to the overhang there in the shed, and I had the head under there, and boom, right there. I started picking up the fascia board, and there was some serious cracking and creaking going on over there. So eventually I'll get this thing moved over to where it's supposed to be, which is a little bit that way towards you. Oh, I can't see what this thing sees anymore. Greg, they can just email me if they want to look at some wood or something. The log is too tall, you're too short. That's true. That is true. Jeff asks, is there a video of the final raised lower system for the mill? No, because I haven't finished it yet. That's one thing I still have to do. So I still have this temporary, because it works. You know, when it's working, I'm sick of building stuff, as I was at the time. So I still have my temporary tensioner up there. I have one on each side like that. And one thing I still have to do, let me go back here so you can see it better, is I need to finish routing the chain. So the way the chain is right now, the motor will contact it, so I can't get up high enough to get like the maximum cut height right now. So right now the maximum the blade can get off the bed is 44 inches, which is what I started this log at. And at that point, that hook thing on top of the motor is like right up next to that chain. So still on the to-do list, but in theory it should be pretty quick. But that's like another thing where I had spent so much time building it, and what I really wanted to be doing was cutting stuff. So kind of sidetracked it, I guess. Blah. I should totally put speakers on here and blast some music when it's going. The hydroponics. Hydroponics. Am I going to offer my sawmill work to locals there in your area? That's from Robert. No, I don't really have time to do that much sawing. So no, not really. If it's interesting, I can make a good video about it. I will consider it, but for the most part, I'm not looking to do any of that. Matt asks, have I ever used Woodmiser or equivalent, and how does giant bandsaw mill compare? So at the farm we have a Sawyer with an LT40 hydraulic that we use out there, and so I haven't run it, but I spent a lot of hours pulling bores off of it and watching him use it and watching it run. So I do have that experience around that machine, and I don't know, they cut about the same thing, but we're not cutting stuff this big on that mill. Obviously the maximum cut width on his mill was like 24 inches between the guides, so I mean it's a decent sized board, but it's not that big really. As far as cut times go, like this is faster than his mill. I think it's a 25 horsepower gas on his, and this is a little bit faster. It'll fly through the logs a little bit quicker, especially on the bigger stuff. On the bigger end, it goes a lot faster. So when we were milling the flooring, that was some ash that's been sitting around for a while. It's pretty dry and hard to saw, and that saw was going super slow with a brand new blade on there that day. And then when I was cutting the big ash logs here, they've been sitting around for a while too, and they're pretty dry as well, but this was still cutting in like 2 minutes. So that's pretty good. I don't know. It's all bandsaws. They spin a blade around. All right, and move again. Hendrick asks, greetings from Brazil. So you don't come back to the Alaska mill. I used the Alaska mill in, what was that, March, April, at Donovan's to slab up the log in his backyard. It was nice to get out there and use that thing again. I still really enjoy the chainsaw mill because I just enjoy running chainsaws, and you don't get as much, you never get as much chainsaw experience or time on using a saw holding that throttle than using a chainsaw mill, because you got a lot of time sitting there enjoying it. But yeah, the process is just it's a lot slower, a lot less convenient, especially if you're doing it off-site. I never really liked doing chainsaw milling off-site because something always goes wrong for some reason. What is the slab thickness of the wood I'm leaning on? This is 2 3/4. Thoughts on diving into steam bending? I'd like to. I just don't have a project in mind. Like, I guess you could do like a chair with some steam bend parts, but I don't know if I want to do that. I'd like to do it at some point. Just like bent lamination would be fun to try as well. I haven't done any of that, so I think yes. The answer is yes. Thanks, TJ. I did answer the question about sharpening the blades, but I can answer it again quickly. I'm sending them out to be sharpened. I've just dulled enough blades to fill up a box to send out to be sharpened. So I'll be doing that. The sharpening equipment, I will probably get a sharpener at some point when I feel like spending the money, but I won't be buying that with the intention of making my money back on sharpening blades, because I don't run through enough blades to make that worth it. Minnesota mill. I guess it's a Minnesota mill. It was built here in Minnesota. This keeps moving. Guys, it's still chilly today. What's the temp today? The temp is beautiful. Today is a beautiful day to be outside. It is currently 66. It's nice. Nice 66 degrees, overcast. It's a nice day to be out here doing this stuff. No problem, Joseph. I'm glad I answered your question without you asking it. It's awesome. Oh, man. Have you ever considered selling blanks for guys who make muzzle loaders? I might actually cut some of the maple slabs, or the maple logs, whatever those were. Wow. suddenly I have this brain thing going on. The maple slabs, I did the videos about slabbing. I might actually take a few of those and cut them into blanks for different things, either gun stocks or for instrument bodies. I think that might be kind of a cool thing to be able to send some of that stuff out to become that stuff. And it gets more people into the wood, I guess, in a sense. So you're making a living cutting the stuff. I don't make a living from the wood stuff. I make a living from all you fantastic people watching my videos. Why did this move again? I thought it was going really well. Like I was actually able to go through, and then it jumped again. All right, I found it. I think I found the spot. Okay, what happened to my clothes sponsor? So I did a sponsorship thing with Wrangler last fall, right, in November. So that was just that wasn't like a long-term thing. It was just for a few videos. So that's all that was. That was a good experience. Tommy says, I better have talked when I identified the octopus tree. What was it? That was a while ago. That's a crab apple. Moved again. How far back in time am I here? I feel like this question's from a while ago. Where's Dima? He's probably at work. Kid's working all the time. Yep, moved again. Thank you, Ken. Wauwatosa. Been through there a few times. Wayne asked if I tried quarter sawing yet. Yes, I did shoot a video about that back in March. I am going to be finishing it finally very soon. I have to finish editing it still. It's on my list of videos to edit. That and the cookie cutting video are two Sama videos I still have to finish editing. But yes, I've got that coming. Michael asks, what's going to be your first event with both April and Laura? I'm not sure yet. I think we're looking to do something collaboratively in the fall, but that's all I know at this point. All right, we go again. Okay, I'm just going to skip down to the bottom again because it moved. Dima died. He didn't die. Yeah, the pop-out chat doesn't change anything. It's popped up right now. It's still jumping all over the place. Maybe if I grab the little scroll bar and I do it that way, instead of trying to do it with the touchpad, it might help. Chuck, I don't have any beach, but otherwise I could do a wooden plain blank for you. Demon's not working on his VW, he's working on his actual job. I bet he wishes he was working on his VW right now. Thank you, Ricky. Thanks for coming along on this fantastic journey. Would I ever do a reality show? Is this not enough of a reality show? I mean, I guess I could manufacture some more drama for you if you really wanted me to. But for the most part, this is about as real as it gets. Well, I'd be adding a slab mover. I use my trailer for moving slabs, so I kind of have a slab mover in that sense, if I'm moving stuff alone. Mark asked, have I ever thought about selling any of my large slabs? They'll be for sale. Oh, they're for sale. They're all for sale. I will stop the sale on the slab stack when I'm down to like 1 or 2 slabs per log, so I can keep some for myself. Michael asks, any fears on those slab towers tipping over, or are they rock solid? If you saw my lumber drawing video, my outdoor video, whatever that was, last week, I think. When was that? I think it was last week. Earlier this week? I don't know. The weeks blend together. Anyway, I was standing on top of there, And I was thinking about that because I was up there walking around. There's zero shake at all. There's actually less, like, it's a lot firmer feeling than like walking on the ground down here, which is kind of an interesting feeling being up there because you're like, you're 6 whatever feet off the ground, and yeah, they're not going anywhere. On average, what does a 12-quarter slab sell for? That would depend on the width, is how I price that. So if it was a narrower, let's say a narrow board under 12 inches that was 12-quarter, that would be $5.25 a board foot. Is that right? I think so, yeah. Is silver maple the most common thing I mill or something else? It just happens to be what I mill the most of recently here on my property. Out at the farm, the most common thing I mill is cherry. I mill a lot of cherry out there. My favorite type of cookie to eat, pancake. Does that count as a cookie? It's flat. It's cooked, right? I think it moved, I'm like way in the past now. I went through all these already. Times it anyway. All right, I'm probably gonna wrap it up here. I gotta do some other stuff. Let me just go through and just answer a few more. Do I have a favorite wood from an aesthetic standpoint? Probably cherry. I think that's my favorite wood as far as appearances go. I just really like the look of that, especially as it darkens. And cherry tends to have at least a little bit of curl, or a little bit of some kind of figure going on. So even if there's nothing else going on in the grain, there is still some really interesting stuff there. And yeah, I think cherry. Are you able to vary the band speed along with the feed rate? I could. I don't know why I would need to. The VFD can vary the speed of the motor, but that would, as far as I know, that'd be unnecessary because your loading is going to be based on the feed rate anyway. Plus, you want the blade to be running at constant speed. That's fairly quick to get enough contact with the teeth to be clearing sawdust and making cuts or whatever. Build cost for the mill is somewhere, I haven't done all the small stuff, so $8,500 is what I'm guessing it is. It's $7,500 right now, not including the log clamps, nuts and bolts. I think that's it. And maybe the belts. Crap. See, even with the scroll bar, it still moves. If I click on the scroll bar, I move it that way. So I have no idea. Oh well. A couple more questions, and then I'm good. Some more work done. Where can I meet other woodworkers in the Twin Cities? You can join the Minnesota Woodworkers Guild. They're having a picnic on July 18th, I think. Yes. Join the guild, go to the picnic. You'll meet a lot of people there. That's what I'd recommend. Yeah. Okay, so somehow I missed that question because now I have a bunch of questions already answered. I can't move. I gotta stay right here, apparently. Are those clamps doing something on top of my mill? I showed the tensioning clamps earlier, and then there's a clamp up there holding that board up there for my tarp. When do I let my kids handle hand tools, and what tools? I don't know. I guess it depends on how they progress with their motor skills. I could probably see them, I feel pretty comfortable giving them a hand plane to try that out. I think that's a lot of fun for kids to make shavings. I guess it depends on what they're interested in doing out in the shop, but if they just want to mess around, they can just grab a hand plane and just plane like crazy. Wow, this is crazy. Thank you, Dennis. I appreciate that. Do my neighbors hate me? Nope. How do I sell my slabs? Lately, it's just been kind of like as people inquire. I used to sell a lot more lumber, and I used to do that as a much larger venture, I guess. And that was all on Craigslist. But now, with enough people know that I do this, that I'm able to just move whatever inventory I have that way, which works out a lot easier and a lot better for me. Thank you, girl with a wood fetish. I love you. Virgil, I didn't say crotch. How is that even possible? I'm sitting next to this giant crotch. I've been really slacking lately. I'm very sorry about that. Chocolate chip or snickerdoodle? Carl, what was it, like ask the weirdest questions day? Most off-topic questions. Chocolate chip is what I'd be on that one. The clamps are clamping. They are clamping. Yes, Carl. I'm so famous it sells itself. That's exactly it. All right, I think that's gonna do me here. Yeah. I guess I'm probably gonna do it now. What time is it? Almost 4. Yeah, that's crazy. Oh, Joseph, yeah. He has a mango and an ironwood tree on his property. That's why I was wondering about the feed, the blade speed and the feed rate. So yeah, just vary the feed rate and you should be fine. As long as the power source can keep the blade at a constant speed, you're good to go. What do I have approximately in board feet on hand right now? Oh, I don't know. 5 to 6, 7,000 board feet ish. What I got back there, 3 or 4,000. This is 800 here, I think. I don't know, probably like somewhere between 6 and 8,000. That's just the stuff I have for sale, I guess, or that's going to be sold. Doesn't include the stuff I have for myself, I think. I would have to do a real count, but somewhere in that range. Carl's out of real questions. I noticed. Thanks again, TJ. All right, I am going to get back to it. I got a video to edit. I got that porch to finish up for you guys because I want to get that out. I was hoping to have it out this weekend, but I don't know if it's going to happen. It might be early next week, Monday or something. Okay, I think that's it. I'm gonna head in. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know what you think of this whole live stream thing. It's not super hard for me to do, so I don't mind just doing it whenever. So, thank you. I'm gonna hit the stop button here and have a fantastic day. Happy Thursday, everyone. I'll see you all next time.